Alright, how's it going, everybody? I know I normally make videos about complete insanity and craziness, but I thought I'd explain something. I'm not a huge fan of making diagrams and stuff, but I thought I'd explain how the Betelgeuse thing is actually fluctuating in the way it is and how space actually works. So I made a little diagram, alright? We have a big red supergiant star in regular space. We have its energy offset in negative space, in antimatter space, in this. All right. So let's just imagine this is space time, right? And this layer here is the layer we rest on. This is the layer we see the star in. Okay, now each one of these layers here, all right, represents a layer of values within the star. So let's say hydrogen, iron, lithium, whatever else is actually in there. Obviously, it's majoritively hydrogen, but right now, the hydrogen is acting as different types of elements within the different layers of the star, depending on its compression. However, this in normal case, however, at the moment, all the electromagnetic fields are just jumbling it up all over the place. It's like a giant seething cesspool of burning fire. It's really cool. But the important thing about my explanation is this layer here. This is negative space. All matter in the universe has an energy offset within what I call the relayer, with reactive space. You've got tan layer, relayer, tangible space, reactive energy space. Now, each of these layers within the star has a representation within negative space. Okay, the entire universe, right, is an infinity symbol. All right, so everything within universal space works like an infinity symbol. It literally is how it is. Now, this is in 4 dimensions, obviously, but I'm trying to put it in a way that people can understand. Now, the fluctuations you're seeing with the star, if you sit and watch the live stream and you see it's this little ball and then suddenly it gets bigger and yellow and you can see the inner layers. What is actually happening from one point of view, one way of understanding it, are the offset values of these two spaces are fluctuating. Okay, so when the star is stable, the areas within here are much larger. Okay, there's a massive energy antimatter, or what would the subatomic particles, because this is like a lattice. All right, it'll hold everything atomic and almost everything subatomic falls straight through the lattice and becomes a reflective energy value of this, and it transfers back and forth. Now, when this star starts fluctuating, all right, the values between these two layers actually start fluctuating as well, and this giant energy value starts becoming unstable and feeding more energy through into the star. The star spins faster because of the energy being pushed into it, spins faster, the outer layers are thrown around, and you start seeing the inner layers of the star. When it stabilizes again, the energy offset goes back and stabilizes. Now, this is the offset that it creates a black hole. There will eventually be an offset, like a cascade offset, where these values drop too low and these get too high, and it becomes like a vacuum, like this whirlpool that basically just opens to a point where it can no longer fluctuate back and forth, and all of this drops into this vacuum, into negative space, and becomes this massive, like it basically, these two values, all right, when the star's huge, this value is rather low because most of the energy exists here, and there's just a nice little balance back and forth. If it drops to a neutron star, all of these values change and then the offset value shifts. But if it drops too far, right, it will literally just siphon all of the energy straight through into this offset, and you'll end up with like 1 or 2 particles here and the rest of the energy in this offset, and that's a black hole. But that's literally looking, if you can sit and watch this star and actually understand how the offsets work just by observing it. And I realize this is ridiculously rudimentary, but this is how our universe functions. Well, at least one aspect of it. So hopefully that helped some people.